everybody. Welcome in tonight. I have such a fantastic show planned for us tonight. And as a matter of fact, I had planned to have Cindy Goodbrake here, and I think she might be here. I don't know. At the last minute, she said that she had something that's come up where she wasn't home yet, and I know she's on the other side of the country for me, and this is bound to happen occasionally. Okay, but yeah. So I think she just popped on though. Okay, so yeah, welcome in everybody. Thank you all. I am so excited. I have a bunch of people in the chat already tonight, and I am so grateful and thankful for each and every one of y'all. If you guys would like to follow all my work and all the shows that I'm doing, please go check out my website. That's thecryptidhuntress.com. You can find all of my shows and all the events that I'm going to be at there on that website. Now, I also have some events coming up. I'm going to be at the Journey to Truth Conference, May the 22nd through the 25th in Grafton, Illinois. And then I'm also going to be at the Spaced Out Radio Fan Party in Las Vegas, May 19th through the 21st. And I just added another one to the mix. It's not official yet, but we're going to be doing some kind of Dogman conference coming up on Labor Day weekend out in Texas. So that's going to be a good time with a Paranormal Roundtable and Josh Turner. So we'll get you more information on that in the future. I'm so excited. All right. Okay. Well, let's see here. Oh, if anybody would like to follow along with what I'm doing here, I have a Patreon, and all of my remote viewing data is there on Patreon. So you guys can just go to the Cryptid Huntress on Patreon. I would love for you to become a member. It's a great way to support the show and what I'm doing. And of course, I do have War Woman Goods. That's on Etsy. If you'd like to buy some amazing vintage turquoise jewelry, okay, I have that there as well. Okay, y'all. Well, let's get to our show tonight. Okay, so Cindy is here. I see her back in the studio, but I knew she might not be here tonight, so I have a co-host tonight. I have a very special celebrity co-host here at the Cryptid Huntress. My friend Robbie Rains from DA Ex Machina podcast, and also What's Really Out There podcast, is here to co-host with me tonight. So I'm going to bring up Robbie Rains to the show, and please help me welcome Robbie. Hey, Robbie.
Hey, how you doing, Jessica?
Hey, thank you for being, man, you're just a reliable, you're like my bestie. I already said that. Did you see that in the chat last night?
Yeah, I saw it.
Yeah. Okay. Well, we had a really good time at the Georgia Bigfoot conference a couple weeks ago. And yeah, I figured I wanted to hit you up to see if you want to come hang out with me tonight when I thought when Cindy wasn't going to be here. But now Cindy's here. So let's pull up Cindy real quick. And we're going to, let's see. No? Are you here, Cindy?
Yes.
Hey.
I'm in my car.
Hey, Cindy. Cindy's in her car, everybody. Okay. Now, let me introduce you real quick, Cindy. Okay. So you live in North Idaho on a property full of high strangeness, from hoops and howls and screams and banging on your house. The Sasquatch and all these other beings make themselves known on your property. And you've been researching Bigfoot since 1998. And you are a part of the Sasquatch Sisters Northwest. That's your crew. And you guys research the Hoodoo Mountain area. So Cindy, tell Robbie and I, tell our audience tonight, what's going on? Like what's been going on since the last time we talked to you?
Oh, am I on?
Yeah, you're on. You're live.
Okay. I'm in my car. I'm sorry, I got stuck. Okay. Anyway, so I have 15%. So when it goes dead, then I'll shut up. Okay, and then y'all can keep whatever.
Okay. Well, you're making an appearance, so thank you. It's awesome. Tell us what's going on, and then I'll talk about the data after your phone dies. Okay.
Oh, I know. So stupid. I'm so sorry. So I have lived on my property since 2004, and I'm supposed to be a Sasquatch. I am a experiencer and I guess a researcher. And I've just had all kinds of things happen on my property, which people can watch the first one if y'all want to go watch that one.
Yes,
I can probably share the link.
Yeah, I'll put the links down here. Yeah.
Okay, so you hopefully did the target. So there's some kind of canine thing going on. I don't know. You said last time there was a wolf man or a dog man or something, and I have one audio where I don't know what it is. It just sounds like a silverback gorilla versus a wolf. I don't know. So there's this one area not too far from my house that we went to, me and my my teammate, couldn't think of the word, Angelique, and
Yes.
we did find this crazy village of structures. And the way we research is through respect. We don't just go blazing in there. However, what we found was amazing, and it was not anything original or normal. This was made by an individual, and there. So I crawled into this structure instead of. I did not ask for permission like normally we would, but I got too excited. And I know I crawled in, and then we left, and then the following days, she got very sick and I got sick, but not like for 24 hours. We got sick for like weeks, okay? I was dizzy. It was like thrown up. She was having worse symptoms than me. So basically that lasted a couple of weeks, and then winter went through, and then, so let me throw in here, so we're not really a team right now, but we're still friends. It's just that life kind of got in the way. And so it's kind of just me right now. And I'm not sure which direction I want to go, but that doesn't matter right now. Let's get back to the whatever's going on. Okay. So I've had like some deaths in the family. So I had to go to Texas for 7 weeks. And, I've had stuff going on. She's had stuff going on, life. So we kind of just took a break. It's wintertime, trying to figure out what we want to do. But because I live where I live, I was going for a ride. The snow's gone. I was like, let's go for a ride. So I wanted to go up the mountain to go check out some things. And then on the way back, I said, I'm going to go check out this area again, but I'm not going to go into the woods. Like, I'm going to stay on the logging road and see if I can even find what's going on. So I couldn't find it. And then I remembered, oh yeah, we marked it with some orange tape deeper in the woods, not like right off the trail. So I found it. And then I got down and I kind of approached the pathway. It's a huge game trail. But what's crazy is that the pathway was blocked, and then there was like these structures that were crazy, like X's, and I had that feeling, and I was like, okay, I'm not going to come in, but I'm going to come in a little bit. I'm just looking at this, because you still had to hike in there a little bit to get to the actual structures. I couldn't see the structures from the road, but I could see the game trail and 2 trees that we had tied off, because we have gotten sick in the past and had like lost time. And like, if you even go like 200 paces or 5 acres over, you can get lost really easily when it's that dense woods. Yeah, I never thought that could like, how hard can it be where you backtrack? It's very hard when you're hit up and with infrasound or whatever it is that you want to call it. When you lose your sense of direction, where you're like delirious, something's going on. So I didn't go in, but I heard like a freaking howl, like from in the distance. I was like, okay, I'm leaving. So I hopped back on my 4-wheeler, and I was scared. I'm not going to lie to you, which I hate that. I always say I'm not going to be that person. However,
you don't get scared, right?
This is not my thing.
Not
okay?
Usually. Yeah.
Right. So I took off on my 4-wheeler, and I was thinking, oh my gosh, I'm so glad I don't have my dogs, because my lab would have hightailed it straight over there. I was going to take him for a run with me on my 4-wheeler, and I left him at home. Like, something told me, don't take him. I mean, I literally had his collar on him, everything. I was ready to take him. He was just going to run next to me because it's only a mile down the road. That's the thing that I don't like about this. So when I was leaving, I heard howling like it was coming. I'm like, oh my God. And these turkeys were like crossing my path, and I'm screaming, get out of the way. And I was going maybe like 35 miles an hour on a bumpy logging road. I mean, I hit this bump and I almost went flying off, and I looked, I grabbed, the where you hold on to, and
Yeah.
I was looking back, and then as soon as I came out into the open, I spun around and I was looking because I was so sure something was like on my tail.
Mm-hmm.
And then I came out on the other logging road and I saw this park ranger coming. And then I saw people, and I was just like, I didn't even like, I couldn't even like I didn't know what to say, or like what am I going to say? So I just kind of I cried.
Oh wow.
It scared me.
Well, what did you think was chasing you? Do you think it was chasing you, and did you think it was on four
I don't
legs,
think
or what?
I don't think it was chasing me like that. I think
Mm-hmm.
it was escorting me out in the woods. I heard it. It was right next to me. I came home and I was shaking, and my husband's like, "What the heck is going on? Or were you packing?" I was like, even if I had again, I'm not going to shoot that." And he's like, "No, you need to keep packing." So that's basically what happened. And so I'm still going to ride in that area. I'm just not going to go down that road. I'm going to take some gifts, and I'm going to say, "I'm sorry." I'm going to leave them I can hide them where they'll get them. And then I'm going to keep going. I'm not even going to go down that road anymore. And someone told me that road was blocked. How can it be blocked?
Blocked with like a
How can it be
natural
blocked?
tree that fell over, or like with
So
cones?
yeah, so like if I were to turn down that logging road,
Mm-hmm.
um it had like some trees in the air down, but
Like where they make a
they
berm
were
or something, or just
no,
trees?
there was
Okay.
no, like something was pushed over, but I could
Okay.
still go around the other way. So I think that could have been just a natural cause. But I mean, you know,
Well,
you're
I
like
don't know
thinking,
because yeah, well, where we go and do a lot of research up in the mountains, all over the place. A lot of times, forest roads will first of all their gates will be locked, and those are the places that have the highest activity rate of Bigfoots and things like that.
yeah,
But they cut trees down on purpose to cover the roads up sometimes with
oh
chainsaws. You
yeah,
can yeah. So it makes you wonder, doesn't it? It definitely makes you
oh
wonder.
yeah, 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 yeah.
Right.
And on my property, since I've been gone, when I was gone for 7 weeks, there was a structure that was up, and now it's completely dismantled. And I saw where my son had been doing some cleaning up, but I could see what he did, and then the structure was torn down, and there's like kind of like an X on top of it. And I went back there on my property on the right hand side where you had gotten some of that weird, where Tanya and them had felt like maybe there was a burial ground back there of some sort. I don't know. That's where all the high strangeness is, on the right side of my property.
Mm-hmm.
But that one big structure was totally dismantled, and it's gone. So
Wow.
I don't know.
Do you think an animal did that, or whatever creatures or beings are on your property did that?
Um, no, I think they dismantled it because of the way it's laying down. It's like they just laid everything that was there on the ground. If my
Okay.
son had touched it, it would have been chopped up and dragged to the slash pile. So I'm not sure if they're mad, but I have been telling them we're clearing the property because we got such a mess back here.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm sorry, but it has to be done. This is a fire hazard, but we're not going to touch the right side of the property, which I'm still not going to let nobody touch it until I know what's going on. But the rest
Yeah.
of it has got to come down. It's a mess.
Wow. Wow. Yeah, that's you have a lot going on your property. And Robbie, I got to tell you, I don't know if you caught the episode. It's been a while since Cindy's been on my show, but when I looked into her property, she didn't tell me all the activity she had going on there, and I saw like possible dogman activity going on, Sasquatch activity. You even had UFOs flying over your property, which is not uncommon
Yeah.
for all that activity that you had there. But I do have to say the main thing that I picked up on with this target, actually, when I was remote viewing your property, and I actually was, the target was the howling, and what was the cause of that howling. I picked up on two different things. Okay, two different things. There's a family of Sasquatch there, and I think they had something
Yeah.
to do with it. Okay, I think it. I didn't pick up on like a dog man or anything like that. I was picking up on a Sasquatch family, like a whole family of them. And there was something that was very wolf-like out there. I don't know if it was an actual wolf, but it didn't seem to be like a dog man or anything. But it did seem it was some sort of wolf-like creature. I didn't pick up Dogman though, but there's that, and then you have the Sasquatch family that lives on your property out there, or
Oh yeah.
whatever this property was. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's kind of, and I pick up on a lot of like supernatural stuff going on out there, Cindy. So
Yeah.
it's not your typical Bigfoot flesh and blood, Robbie, right? Robbie is definitely in the flesh and blood camp. I'm definitely in the other side of the spectrum camp. But it's somewhere. Your property is somewhere in the middle of that, Cindy. It's definitely flesh and blood, and it's also very supernatural as well.
Oh yeah. Easy.
Yeah.
I've
Yeah,
seen
but
it with my own eyes, and through my lens. I've seen them do their thing, like, where they're halfway there, and then I'm like moving my phone, and I'm like, or my camera, and I'm like, but I've seen, they've been right there huffing. People have been there and they've heard things, and then there's nothing there. I mean, and I've had someone, and last year, when my team was on my property, we saw them peeking out the day Tanya did some land clearing, the ley lines.
oh yeah. Okay. Oh, this is interesting. Digger Dog's talking about how there's more places like Skinwalker Ranch than many people realize, and that's the truth. A lot of places that my team researches actually have a lot of the similar phenomenon going on there as Skinwalker Ranch. And I did pick up on a natural portal on your property as well, Cindy. So,
Yep.
and last time I picked up on two, I believe, and this time I did pick up on at least one, where some things are coming in and out of those portals now. What's coming in and out? According to my data, anything that wants to come in and out until it's shut down. So, I
Can
don't
you
know.
shut it down?
I don't know. That's a good question. I don't
I want
know.
to shut it down. I want to
Yeah.
shut it down. God.
I don't know. That would, someone that knew something about land clearing and things like that would be good to ask about that. So, but I don't know. But there's straight up flesh and blood and flesh and bone creatures on your property out there, and they are a Sasquatch family. There's a whole family there, if not more.
Oh yeah.
So, yeah. But there's something that's kind of in between worlds out there too. So it's kind of the same data that I was getting for the last time that we looked into all this. But I picked up that the source of that noise that you heard, that screaming or that howling, it had something to do with the Sasquatch family that was out there.
Well,
Yeah.
that's good.
I
I
guess
prefer
so.
that.
I don't know, Robbie. What do you think? Would you rather have Sasquatch or Dogman on your property? What do you think?
Well, I've already had my Bigfoot encounter. I want to have a Dogman encounter.
Yeah, that's
So,
right.
yeah, we're actually trying to plan a trip to either actually all three, LBL, Mammoth Cave, and Werewolf Springs.
Ooh,
We're gonna
that
try to
sounds like a fun
hit all
trip.
of them in one trip. So,
Wow. So, where are you from, Robbie? Where
South
do you live?
South
Oh,
Carolina.
okay. Because this fall, I'm going to be back in Texas for the most of the winter, not all of the winter, but some of the winter. So,
Wow.
yeah.
Yeah, well, and then maybe I would like to go to Idaho sometime. Man, there's so much activity in Idaho apparently. And Cindy, give us a little background on Hoodoo Mountain. That's got I actually remote viewed that last time you were on the show. But tell us a little background on Hoodoo Mountain. Why you still have a little
Yeah.
phone charge?
So, Hoodoo Mountain was named, I think, Angelique did some studying of this, and I think it was named by the Native Americans like a long time ago, in their language, and it was just translated to hoodoo.
Mhm.
And the settlers also, like, maybe at the turn of the century, something that she found was they were building a church, and they built this church in the center of Hoodoo Valley on purpose, so that they talked about hearing noises in the woods, these people, and so they purposely centered the church that was built in that area so that it could keep the evil spirits away, basically. So they did that according to Hoodoo Mountain. And there's been a lot of sightings there. On the other side of the mountain, on the left side of the mountain from where I lived, there is a rancher that lived there for 3 years, and he had some crazy encounters of last time. He's also a experiencer of Sasquatch, and so he was having all these encounters, and so was his wife, and he's got a beautiful daughter. She's so talented, but there's something about her. She's like a beacon for just attracting high strangeness. And he contacted me through Facebook, but he refused to call me on the phone. And he met up with me in my town, and I recorded him. And he just had some crazy encounters of UFOs. Lost time in the woods. He went in the woods at like 9:40, and he went through a section of woods. It took him half an hour, but when he came out, it was 4 something. So there's a lot of things like lost time on there. That was why, when we went into the woods, why she tied that logging tape to the trees, because she also has had an encounter of lost time as well. Angelique and her son, but she would have to tell you that story. So there's a combination of things. There's also this spiral thing on my property that the tractor did not make. And Tanya actually saw it the next day. I did not see it until later, but she discovered it. And so I don't know what made that, but it's a spiral. And then I was talking with another person who lives in Washington, like an hour and a half away. And in Kettle Falls, Washington, there is this like a medicine wheel of some sort. And that's what looks like is in my woods, just right there, drawn in the dirt, like a big hand, just did this spiral thing. And it was covered with snow. And it
kind of like a UFO mark, where you see like a crop circle or something. That's what it sounds like.
But it's not like that big. It's about maybe like 6 feet across. 6 feet across, and so it's not extremely large. So I don't know what that is. I know we didn't make that. Nobody in my house goes on that part of the property. So I don't know. Just a lot of weird stuff. Yeah.
Was the circle clockwise or counterclockwise? Lioness of Gaia would like to know. Do you remember?
I think it was like this. So if I'm doing it like this, what does that mean?
I think that's clockwise. I don't know.
Let's see. Clockwise
Everything's
goes like
backwards
this
over here. I don't know.
Well, let me.
Okay. Okay. You know what I was thinking? Let me go over this other target that I did for you before your phone dies. Okay. So Cindy, you asked me to look into the sickness. Okay. When you guys went into that structure and you didn't ask permission, what I picked up on overall, I could not get this out of my head. That I kept hearing over and over again: radiation poisoning, radiation.
Oh, crap. That's what Angelique was. I think she was. Oh crap!
Is that what she thought it was? I picked up on radiation poisoning for you guys, and also something that you inhaled, something that you breathed in, like mold. Okay, there was some sort of like fungus or mold and some sort of radiation poisoning. It was kind of like a combination of both of that. And I'm no doctor. Do not take medical advice from me, please. Okay, but this is just what I picked up on. I know. Well, for YouTube purposes, I probably have to say that. Okay.
Oh yeah.
But for broadcasting purpose. This is for entertainment purposes only, everybody. Okay. So, but I was
Right.
picking up on some kind of condensation that was in the air there. That had some kind of mildew or mold in it, and there was from some kind of stagnant water that was on the property or something that was around there that had it was some sort of condensation. Okay,
Huh.
and it basically poisoned you in some way, and
Wow.
but it had a lot to do with radiation. Now, what I was going to talk with you about tonight, if we had time, I was going to talk about the radiation that we experience in the field when we're doing our paranormal field research out there, and when we pick up on radiation, it's usually when we're having a paranormal experience out there. Our Geiger meters spike. Okay, so that could be a correlation there to where there's something very supernatural. It could be something like a portal there. It could be anything that causes some extra like radiation going on.
Huh.
But that's what I picked up on. It was radiation.
Wow,
That's what made you
crazy.
guys sick. Yeah.
Huh. Well, that explains it then, because we were like, oh my gosh, did really? Because
Yes.
I thought that it was something weird, like
Yes.
that they did it to us, you
Yes.
know?
And I can say for sure, Titan 470 or not I can't see Titan 70. I'm sorry. There is radiation associated with portals. If in fact what my team encountered was a portal, there was a radiation spike in that area when that happened. So
Wow.
there is radiation associated with portals. So it could be that too.
Well,
But
maybe,
your body was rejecting whatever that was there. And I think you were trying to get it out. That's why you got so sick.
wow. So on the right side of my property, a lot of people have gotten sick when we just walk back there. So maybe that's where the portal is on my property. I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah, that I think
Oh,
that's
my
what it
phone's
was.
done.
Okay. Well,
My
hey,
phone's
we got
gonna
to we
die.
got to the gist of it, Cindy. I'm so glad that you could hop on tonight and be here
Yeah.
with us for at least just for a little while. So, thank you so
Yeah,
much. I mean, this is a great, interesting story. You'll have to come back and we'll talk more in the future when you
I
have some more
will.
battery. Okay.
Okay, so I'm so sorry. Yeah. Up. There you go. Okay.
It's okay. Take her. I'm going to take Cindy off. She was still actually on there. She didn't know that she was still live. So, what do you think, Robbie? Is this it's quite an interesting story, right? What do you think?
It was definitely entertaining.
It was entertaining. That's right.
No,
Cindy's very
I
entertaining.
mean,
She's got a lot of good stories.
She's just, you have to pay attention. She's hard to follow.
Yes. I love Cindy. She's great. She's she's adorable. She's adorable. Hey Amy. Hey. And hey Primal Cry. Hey everybody in the chat. You guys are amazing. Thank y'all all for being here tonight. Robbie, thank you. Most of all, I want to thank you for hopping on with me tonight. This is I always have fun talking with you. And yeah, I knew that I didn't think Cindy was coming on at all tonight. So I'm excited she came in for the first half of the show. And she's got so much going on her property, Robbie, that I don't know how she wraps her head around it all. That's all I'm going to say. And I know when you were growing up as a kid, you guys had a Bigfoot on your property, and you had an incident where you had one peeking in your doorway, right? Was it your door?
Yep. When I was 8 years old.
Yeah. Well, Cindy has them all over her house, around her house. They come and bang on the side of her home at night. Yeah, when I remote viewed the first time, I was seeing like a dogman or werewolf type creature out there on her property, the Bigfoots, the UFOs, the portals. I mean, it was a lot. It almost seemed unreal, but that was what my data came out with. So it was a lot. Yeah. Everybody in Idaho and Montana knows Cindy. And actually Cindy has gone down to Oklahoma and gone out with the guys from Texas Front Porch that I had some shows with them. Bigfoot Michigan Rob's been in the chat tonight. But she goes out and does Bigfooting with Tex from Texas Front Porch sometimes down in Oklahoma. So yeah, everybody knows Cindy. But yeah, so it seems as though, when she got sick, Robbie, now you've heard about this with all the shows that you do. You've heard about people getting sick when they have encounters with Bigfoot or Dogman, right? With the possibly infrasound.
Yeah, Rob talked about it when he was on the show with me and Da at that time.
Okay. Well, I a lot of people say that it's infrasound, okay, that makes people sick, and I do believe that happens a lot. But I do believe that happens. I think that in that case with Cindy, I was picking up on radiation. A lot of like radiation stuff was going on, and part of my team's research is to check for radiation because that can be really really dangerous. And it was, that cube that showed up in the field, there was a radiation spike when that happened right there in that spot. And both of the men that went into that area both got very sick. One with cancer and one got a heart problem from that. So this stuff is it's not safe. There's a lot of dangers in going out there and going Bigfooting, Robbie. I don't know. Would you agree to that?
To a
Or
point,
agree
yeah.
with it?
I would agree it's dangerous, but maybe not for
Yeah.
being you have the exact same reason as it being dangerous. But yeah, I mean,
Yeah. You're not worried about the radiation factor?
and we've had this discussion. It's just I've never experienced any of this other stuff. All I've ever experienced, down to the one that we had together, is everything that I've ever experienced in my 49 years has just shown me flesh and blood animal. I mean, and I'm not saying that all this stuff is not possible. So don't beat me up in the comments. That's my experience.
Well, no, but here's the thing though, with the radiation though, that's not supernatural. That's actually like documented, and we have Geiger meters for that, and so that's not like it's not like paranormal or whatever. It's just radiation. There's like a spike.
Well, yeah, I mean, there's not a lot of places on this earth because of the things that we've done that you can't go, that you're not going to get some type of radiation reading. That's just because of us being stupid.
Hey,
So I mean,
microwaving your food and things like
yeah,
that.
I mean that's radiation. I mean, going to the dentist to getting X-rays or getting X-rays at the hospital, that's all radiation. I mean, there's so much radiation that's leaked all over this planet that that doesn't surprise me. So I mean, that's kind of like saying, well, I got a fear of drowning, so I'm not going to go outside when it rains.
I'm melting. Right.
Yeah.
Oh, we have a question. Okay, Scott. He's directing this towards me, but Robbie, I'm going to let you answer this too. Do I know anything about cryptids marking people, and if that's the reason some people have multiple encounters? I think it could be absolutely. I think that people could get marked. I also think that some people are more just prone and on that frequency to have encounters with cryptids. I think that certain people have to be on a particular frequency in order to encounter them. So that's my opinion. What's your opinion, Rob? I'm Rob. Let's start calling you Rob. I'm gonna start calling you Rob.
That's
Robbie.
fine. I do believe that certain people are interesting to them, and I believe that those people get, we have this discussion about dogs. I don't dislike everybody that doesn't like dogs, but if a dog dislikes somebody, there's a reason, because animals can sense things. So these animals can, and what you're saying about people being prone to have more encounters than others. If you're going out there with the intention of trying to harm them, it's just like deer hunting. I mean, you don't see deer. That's why it's called hunting. That's why it's called fishing. It's not called shooting. It's not called catching. It's called fishing. It's called hunting.
It's called
you don't know that
fish,
you're gonna.
Right.
Yeah, once you catch them, but you're still fishing.
You're still fishing. That's right.
You're not. There's no guarantee that you're going to catch a fish when you go fishing. There's no guarantee you're going to shoot a deer when you go deer hunting. There's no guarantee you're going to see a Bigfoot when you go out there. So, and I know the hunting and the fishing is a little bit different as far as that. Fish are not going to pick up on a perceived notion that you don't mean them any harm and they're going to bite the worm on your hook. That's not what I mean. But
they go after that bait just like Bigfoots do.
To feel more at ease with somebody, they can pick up on that. And obviously, I believe there's there's some that is I've got a friend who's got the hitchhiker thing. He moved down here from a different state, and he's had things start showing up on his porch. So,
like gifts or what?
yeah.
Wow, that's something that's pretty common.
Mhm.
Especially now, does he leave food out for them or anything? I mean, is he leaving anything out for them?
No,
No.
that's
You told him definitely don't do that.
what. No, he knows as much, if not more, about them than I do.
Oh
And
my gosh.
yeah, that's a big. That's just like going out in the woods and doing tree knocks and call blasts and stuff like that. That's equivalent to going to a different country and screaming out a phrase that you have no idea what it says and hoping for the best. I mean, you don't know what you're saying. You don't know what kind of message you're conveying. So that's just not something that most of our guys and our team stand by. We just don't think that's a smart idea.
Yeah. Well, it's
So
like with the animals. I mean, it's all about to me, it's about the energy, the frequency, and the vibration, your intentions. It's what you're putting out there to the world. It's what you're potentially what you're going to get back. Now, not to say that you're not going to encounter, you could be like the best person in the world and just so loving and putting all that beautiful, good vibrational energy out. And you're still going to come across a mountain lion that's going to want to eat you perhaps or attack you. It's not everybody can be
that's a
Snow
predator
White.
though. That's a predator though. I mean,
Yeah.
an apex predator is going to do what an apex predator is going to do. I mean, they don't care if
Yeah.
you're all sunshine and snowballs. They're if they're hungry and they're going to go after you.
Right.
But but the intelligence level of a mountain lion versus a Bigfoot is vastly different.
Mm-hmm.
And a Bigfoot is an apex predator, but I don't believe that. I do believe there are certain Bigfoot, Gugways, Chinook, things like that do target humans for meals, but there's not. And there again, my opinion, there's not one type. There's not just one type of Harry and the Henderson's type Bigfoot. Patty Gimlin out running in the woods. There's different. It's just like, how many different types of elephants are there? How many different types of dogs are there? How many different types of tigers are there? How many different types of rhinoceroses? Just because it's Bigfoot, that doesn't mean it's one specific type that
Right.
that we see on the movies. That's all lovey-dovey and has good intentions. Some of them are,
Some of them had a bad day, and
yeah,
their hormones are acting up. Okay, that kind of stuff. And some of them, it depends on if they got kids, and I know how that is. I got a kid. I'm not in the best moods by the end of the day half the time. Okay, so it's just like humans, is what I like to say. And I had a super interesting conversation yesterday, Robbie, with Mike from Abnormal Investigations. And, he is a former law enforcement officer, a former policeman, like you are, okay, and is really into the meat and potatoes of looking into cases of people who have been attacked and killed, especially by unspecified animals or packs of wild dogs,
mm-hmm.
And he has a really interesting view on the Dogman, for instance. Okay, we talked about Dogman. We I'm not going to say we had a debate. We were just throwing ideas back and forth, because I really appreciate that, being able to get other people's insight on what they think a Dogman is, and he is definitely in the flesh and blood camp, much like yourself. And I tried to be in the middle, but I know I've seen such weird stuff. I'm more on the supernatural side, of course, with the interdimensional stuff and portals and all that woo stuff. So, but that was a very interesting show yesterday, and I think a lot of people really appreciated that, because I don't think there's a whole lot of people coming together who are on total opposite ends of the spectrum and having like super calm, I don't want to say educated conversations about it, but just inquisitive conversations.
Well, the problem is there's people on both sides who think it's my way or the highway, and there's no other. I don't know how many times we have to say this. There are no experts. Anybody who says, "Hey, I'm an expert in this," they're lying. I'm sorry if that hurts people's feelings, but everything that we say, everything I say, everything you say, everything anybody else says about this is theory and conjecture.
Mm-hmm.
Because it is. There's nobody out there who's a certified expert on Bigfoot. There's nobody who's a certified expert on Dogman. Because how many of them have been? Now, well, I understand that there may be government agencies who have studied them. Get that. But how many of us out here as a general public have conducted a thorough study on Bigfoot and Dogman?
I mean, my team researches Bigfoot and stuff, and there's people that do.
But nobody's an expert on this.
Nobody's an expert. Lord, no, nobody's an expert. And it's really odd hearing people speak so matter of factly about Bigfoot sometimes to me, because I am the first to admit I don't know anything hardly about Bigfoot. Yeah. As much as we're out in the field doing research and stuff, and any of this stuff. I mean, I know what I've experienced, and I can speak kind of matter of factly about that. You know,
the only thing that I can state as matter of factly is that what I say is what I believe. I don't care if anybody subscribes to what I believe or not. It doesn't hurt my feelings. It doesn't make me mad. People are entitled to have their own opinion, and that's the problem. Is nobody wants to have that, or not nobody, but there's a lot of people that don't want to have that same attitude about it. They get so upset and so worked up and want to fight and argue because people don't believe the way they believe. This is no different than anything. I mean, religion, politics, everything. If you don't believe the way I believe, then you're wrong. No, you're not. You just have a different opinion. If I believe they're flesh and blood and you believe they're interdimensional, that doesn't mean that you and I can't get along and have a polite conversation about why I believe this way versus why you believe that way. We've had how many of those conversations, Jessica?
Me and you have had plenty. And we, at the end of the day, it doesn't matter. We're still going to go out in the field, and you and I have been Bigfooting together, and it was so much fun, and it yielded some results too, right? So.
Yeah. It did.
Yeah.
And, and that's, I may sit here and listen to some of the woo, as you like to call it, and think, good gracious, that's
the woo.
That's
I
out
hate
there.
That word. It's okay.
But by the same token, I have to tell myself that people who are in that camp listen to some of the stuff that I say and say, where in the world is he getting that from? So it's six one, half dozen another.
Right. Well, and that's why I really respected Mike for coming on and talking with me about that last night, because his perspective is very biblical. Okay. And there's guys on my team actually, as woo as we are out there and experiencing all this supernatural stuff, we still have biblical scholars on the team, and they relate those occurrences that we have to things from the Bible. Okay. Mm-hmm. And occurrences. So everybody has their own perspective on all of this. I mean, some people say Dogman and Bigfoot are Nephilim. Okay. And have Nephilim DNA and stuff. I mean, it's just all different. I mean, I had somebody send me an email saying that, that Bigfoot is they've only been around for like 100 years or something like that. And stuff. And then some people say they're ancient. The thing is,
with people like Mike, myself, DA, mm-hmm. Anthony, Doc, all of us who are current, former law enforcement, military, all that kind of stuff, we're heavily evidence-based individuals. And we tend to go where the evidence leads us. That's how we do our job every single day. That's how Mike did his job. That's how I do my job. That's how DA did his job. That's how Anthony did his job in the courthouse. That's how they all did their job in the military that they were in. It's very evidence-based, evidence-oriented. It's that Occam's razor. And now, am I saying that that's the right way? No, that's just a way. It's not the way. It's just a way. And that's right. That's the way that we choose to look at it. Is, if I'm walking a trackway and it abruptly stops, my mind goes, okay, where did I miss the backtrack at? Mm-hmm. I don't automatically jump to portals, but that's me. That's the way my mind works. Doesn't mean that I'm right and you're wrong if you think it's a portal. That's just, and people have to understand that and have to get over themselves enough to understand that just because somebody disagrees with you doesn't mean they're saying you're stupid or you're wrong. Or they're just saying, look, I don't agree with you. And it's okay to have disagreements. the problem with everything in this country, in this world.
Yeah, well, I just want to hear everybody's opinions so that
Yeah.
we can all come to a educated conclusion here, or leave it open ended. And it's really that's awesome. Donnie's in the chat. Hey, Donnie says the only expert on Bigfoot would be an actual Bigfoot.
Amen, Donnie. I 100% agree.
That's a very educated statement right
Yeah.
there, Donnie.
And that's it. There's not any one of us sitting out here that have these discussions daily, every day of the week on all these shows we have that can lay claim to being an expert on Bigfoot or Dogman. We can say that we've studied them, that we've seen them, we've had encounters, but unless you're studying one, every day of the week, night and day, and you're out there quantifying your results and match up, and you've got more than one subject that you're not you can't. It's just, and it drives me up the wall that people just can't say, you know what, it's just my opinion.
It's just my
Because
opinion.
that's what mine is. And
Right.
I don't care if people look at me and say, you're the stupidest person ever walked the face of the earth for having your opinion. I'll be like, okay, cool.
Okay. No sweat off my back.
Yeah.
Dark Woods, thank you so much for being here tonight. We got Dark Woods in here and Primal Cry too. The more you know, the more a lot of things seem to be connected. I 110% agree with that statement, Dark Woods. The more you get out in the field and you do this research, it is connected. And I don't know if that's part of the woo stuff, Robbie. I'm not sure, but it just does seem that all the supernatural stuff just kind of links everything together, and it kind of it melds it all together for me.
Well, see,
But
but
that's
that's
my
the thing.
experience.
There has to be people that like the supernatural stuff that want to go out and look into this stuff. That's not me. All I want to do is go out and look at Bigfoot and Dogman, find out. But there's got to be people like me too. My chief tells me this all the time. He said, not everybody can be a ticket hound. Not everybody can be like working wrecks. Not everybody can like do it. He said everybody has to have their niche, because that's what makes the whole department, click and move.
Mm-hmm.
With our team, we have it set up where we have a guy on the team that likes to work wrecks. So, if he's working and a wreck comes in, he's going to take it because he knows I hate working wrecks, and I know he loves working wrecks. But also, I know he doesn't like going and doing a lot of paperwork on a domestic. So if there's a domestic comes in, I'm going to take it because that's one of my strong points is handling calls. It translates the same with this. I mean, I don't know anything about the paranormal. When you start talking about all this stuff, I'm clueless. It's like I sent you that message. I got lost about a mile back. I did. I have no idea what most of this stuff that y'all are talking about. But now when you start talking about tracking and behaviors in the woods and moving around and that kind of stuff, that's my wheelhouse. That's my area. That's where I get involved because we all got to have our niche.
Yeah, you sent me a picture of a pretty good track today too. That was a big old canine print.
Yeah.
Tell me a little bit about that. That was really big.
Yeah. Well,
I was playing with you, by the way. I knew it was a big track. I was just
I
was messing with you. I was like, that's so cute.
If you got it, if you want to put it up, you can put it up.
I don't know.
This
Let's see.
This is spring break week
Let's see if I can find it
for my school, and I don't know how many. I know a lot of people in DAX Maka chat know that I coach soccer, but amongst everything else that I got on my plate or the iron that I got in the fire, I've coached varsity soccer for the local high school. And I've been a coach for about 14 years. So we got this team that did not want to change this, not their spring break this week, and they would not change for us. So we've got a game tomorrow.
That is crazy.
Yeah,
they should have taken
spring break. So we had to practice yesterday and today. So we don't have a big net around. We're not big fancy, have a lot of money school, so we don't have nets around the outside of the soccer field. So a lot of times we have to go change.
Oh, no. Hold on, sorry.
There's two of you. We can't hear you, Jessica. Or I can't. Can anybody hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Ah.
I had my mic on mute. I'm so sorry. That was my fault.
You just start talking.
I'm just talking. I've got my mic on mute the whole time. I pulled up myself on there. I was trying to pull the picture up. See, I'm not doing that again. Sorry.
So anyway,
Total disaster. Go ahead
we
with
had
your
to practice.
story.
We had to practice yesterday and today. So
That was a
inevitably,
mess.
I have to go while I got my assistant coach running them through drills. I end up usually having to go chase balls over the fence into the woods. So, which I had to do yesterday.
That sounds fun.
And I had to do it again today. So yesterday, I went and chased a couple balls, and we hadn't had any rain in a week or two. Or at least this week we hadn't had any rain. So yesterday I chased a couple, and I walked back. I always walk the fence line back, just look, because we've had a bad problem with fire ants and stuff like that, and that's something the refs have actually jumped on us about. So when I'm walking outside of that fence line, I'm always looking to see if there's any nests or anything that needs to be taken care of. So I didn't see anything yesterday. Today, kicked a few balls back over the fence, walking back, and I look down and I see a canine print, and I'm not kidding. It was probably about that big around. I have a size 11.5 boot, and I sent Jessica a picture of it, and
I tried to pull it up.
It's as big as my heel. And
it's a big print. It is.
I would say I would say probably at least a 200-pound animal, because it's sunk in about.
It was like half the size of your foot. Yeah, it was big.
And it was about a 1/4 inch sunk into the ground. So I know that in the past there's probably been some red wolves around there, but red wolves aren't typically the bigger of the wolf species. That's usually like gray wolves and timber wolves. So, and that's not something that I've seen or heard a lot of around there. I mean, I know we've had wolves, but I mean, that's just like literally that far from the fence of the soccer field.
Was there a track line, or was it just one print?
It's two. Both those pictures I sent was two separate pictures that I sent you. One there was that first track I found, and then the other one but I didn't see anything else around that general area. So it's just those two and that one little track trap that I found.
Amy wants to know what your favorite tree is, Robbie. What's your favorite tree?
My favorite tree? Well, I'm a woodworker, so I mean, I like working with oak.
With oak. So you like oak trees. Okay. I think that Amy was asking a question to bide the time while I was trying to get my microphone back on. So, yeah.
I was like, that was random.
I think I'm a little behind. I know. Tell us about your woodworking stuff. And is your artwork for sale? Because you make those awesome flag things. And I mean, show us some of your stuff.
This is what I made for DA for...
the old bookshop. Is that for the conferences he's going to be at, or is that for his house?
No, this is for his conferences and stuff. He wants to put this up at where he sells his books and stuff. So he wanted something that looked like an old timey sign that you have. So that's cherry. So I've got a bunch of cherry that I was gifted.
Oh yeah, that's nice.
So I made him that, and when I used to be out in the shop, I've got a wooden flag of this out in the shop. I made one for Doc, one for Anthony, one for me. Just carved out with my CNC machine. Then I did a epoxy one for DA. But I can pretty much do almost anything. Within reason, obviously. If it's a picture that I can do a SVG file on, then I can probably do something.
Well, it's nice.
That's easy. That was just text. That was just locking the wood down in the CNC, centering the text, having DA pick the text he wanted, and letting the machine cut it. And then I just had to seal the edges and all that stuff.
Nice. Well, Amy knows a little bit about wood. She said her favorite sealer for wood and furniture is water locks. Okay, I'm not familiar with any of that stuff.
I use Rubio Monocoat. I sealed the edges actually with Mod Podge, and then put some Rubio Monocoat over the top of that once it was sealed in. Moose Magoose Wood Butters, another good one. So
Nice.
I've
Well,
never
okay.
I've never used water locks, but
Well, maybe you could try it sometime. Who knows? It probably is good. Speaking of conferences, what do you have going on the next couple of weeks? Because you're going to be at least at one conference that I know
yeah,
of.
Anthony and I will be at the Ocala Bigfoot Convention or Florida Bigfoot Convention, however it's listed. It's in Ocala at the Equestrian Center on April 22nd. I'm going down on the 18th, and he and I are going to spend a couple of days in the Ocala National Forest. And then we're just going to hang around and goof off, and then we're going to be at the conference on that Saturday walking around. Hopefully I can keep him out of trouble. But
I doubt that.
with that meatball, that's going to be hard. So
Just take a box of crayons, right?
yeah, I've got my CRE, my crayons ready to eat. I'm gonna have in my pocket for him when he starts. I'm like, here's your green one. Calm down.
Oh my gosh, are you going iguana hunting, Robbie? That's legal down there, right?
Yeah,
In
the
Florida?
iguanodon says we're gonna do
Okay.
some iguana hunting if
Yeah.
he's got all his licensing, and I keep that words. If he's got his license, and he's legal. We're probably gonna do some of that.
Wow, that'd actually be kind of fun. Okay, Lily Pond wanted to know: did the print have 4 or 5 toes on the ground, Robbie? That print from today.
It's a standard canine print. So
Yeah, it
let me
looked like
pull,
4.
let me pull the
Right.
picture up just so I can reference it.
I was trying to pull it up, and I almost
Yeah,
ruined the whole show.
four standard toes and the 2 lobes on the pad and claws coming out of the top.
Okay. Yeah, so it was a dog of some sort, I guess. Yeah. Ooh, so the WEC, that place is stunning. According to Trista, she says that place is really nice. So, you guys are
Yeah,
gonna
the
have a
World
great time.
Equestrian Center. Yep.
Okay, so you got David Politis that's going to be there. I talk about missing
Hmm.
411 all the time, and the missing people all over our national parks. You're going to get to potentially meet him this week or next week,
Hmm.
and hear him speak. That's going to be awesome. And he used to be a Bigfoot field researcher.
Yep. He used to be a police officer too.
Yeah. So y'all have something in common there.
Yep.
A
I'm
few things.
I'm hoping to see if I can meet Dr. Meldrum too. He's
Yeah.
been one of my not an idol, obviously, because I don't. But he's definitely been somebody that I put a lot of stock in what they said over the years. So he's speaking.
Yeah.
What time he's speaking? I think he's speaking at like 10 o'clock. But
Yeah.
yeah. But me and the meatball just be walking around because DA was going to come. We were going to get a booth, and all of us were going to be there. And he had some stuff come up with because of the way Amazon files his taxes. So it just wasn't.
Oh yeah, I heard that
Yeah,
last
and
night.
then Doc's mother-in-law had her medical issues, so that stopped him. So it's just going to be me and Anthony. But we'll be walking around. So if anybody's in there and they see us, I'll probably have the cowboy hat on just so everybody will recognize me.
Yeah. Oh, Nana Boss is in here. She says that Ron Moorhead's going to be there, so
Yeah,
that's fun. He's a great guy. I like Ron.
he was supposed to have already been on the show, but he had some a scheduling conflict. But he'll be on DAX Machina within the next couple of weeks probably.
Oh, nice. You should definitely have Ron on for sure.
Yeah,
He's actually
well,
one of the first people I met when I first started doing Bigfooting. He spoke at a conference here in Georgia, and I met him and R. Scott Nelson together. Like the first or second year I'd been Bigfooting with my team. So me and Ron go way back. He just doesn't remember. So that's funny. But that's going to be great. Any other conferences you're going to? Are you going to try to make it up to that Dogman conference? in
yeah, we
September?
actually talked
What you
about
think?
that last night on before we went on. That all of us are going to try to make it to that one. Doc's actually got a class either right before or right after that, so his looked promising to be able to be there. DA's is looking promising too because he was there last year, so I think Josh had already contacted him about coming back this year. I don't know about Anthony yet because he wasn't on last night, so we didn't get to talk to him about it. But I'm gonna try. So see what we can do.
Yeah, that's going to be fun. Well, Josh asked me to be a speaker this year, so You know, and it's kind of interesting because the PRT crowd, not everybody in their audience is really open to the remote viewing thing. They're not super into the woo stuff. And so that's going to make for an interesting presentation there. I think it's half and half. I'm going to say, if not more, you know, on the paranormal side.
Well,
But yeah,
we've seen what the bad reaction to people not liking your speech is. So as long as you don't have that reaction, we're good.
it's okay. Hey, listen, it's totally fine. At least people, you know, everybody's open to it, and I think, you know, I totally applaud Josh for bringing in people on both sides of the aisle, you know, to present. And I think that and it's just about being open to everything, okay, and everybody listening to what everybody has to say, and not arguing, and just being like, all right, let's just hear it, lay it on us, right,
Yeah.
on both sides.
And who was Trista was asking about the Dogman conference. I believe there is one in Ohio, but that's another thing that we're trying to get something up with Mikey and Bubs, going up there and hanging out with them and doing some stuff.
Oh, the
with them.
Strange Road. Yeah, I love those guys.
Yep, they're cool.
Yeah,
The
they're
yeah
awesome.
we had a 3.5 hour and a 4 hour show with them both
I
those
know.
shows. So
I was waiting for hour 5 last time. I couldn't believe it. That was a lot. Yeah. Well, actually, the Dogman conference that I'm referring to, that I'm going to be speaking at, is in Texas, right outside of Fort Worth, Texas, on Labor Day weekend. It's Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. I think. I think it's just mostly
yes,
Saturday and Sunday. There's something
Friday's the
Friday
meet and
night.
greet. Yes, the meet and
Yeah.
greet, and then the conference is actually Saturday and Sunday.
Yeah. So it's in a little township called White Settlement. Okay, it's right outside of Fort Worth. I asked Josh if he had any recommendations on hotels, motels. He said not really. So I was like, all right. So I'm gonna be planning closer to the event, obviously, but yeah, it's that'll be a good time. And I think, from what I understand, what y'all were saying last night, Da had mentioned that the venue is like double the size of the one they had last
Hmm.
year.
Yep.
Yeah, so they're expecting a big crowd. So everybody get your tickets as soon as those tickets go on sale. Y'all start getting your tickets, and we'll see you there. Hopefully, Robbie, I hope you're going to be there.
I'm gonna try. That's
Yeah.
that's my goal. It's
Yes,
it's not like driving to Georgia. You
I
have to
know.
This is one we have to fly to, and the airlines are proud of their tickets.
I may have to fly to this one too. It's like 12 hours from my house, so that's a long
I
that's a
mean,
long drive.
push come shove, I'll drive it if I have to. If
Yeah.
that's the only way I can go, because plane tickets are so outrageous now. I mean, and if Anthony's going, we can probably he could probably stop and pick me up on the way, and we can just carpool, take turns driving, because that's what we plan to do, some stuff like that before too. So we'll do what we have to do.
Right.
If
Hey,
that being
I
said.
might carpool with y'all. We might all just carpool together. Y'all just
Yeah.
we'll meet on the way somewhere. That'd be fun. Actually, that'd be fun. So, Richard Harrington, thank you. You've been putting some great comments in the chat tonight. I want to thank you so much for being here and for subscribing. Please subscribe over to Robbie's channels too. He's got What's Really Out There on YouTube. He's got a podcast there, and DAX Machina podcast on YouTube as well. So, everybody go subscribe to Robbie's channels. And this has been a lot of fun once again. And thanks to everybody who's making all these really sweet comments about us tonight. Y'all are the best. Whenever I speak, Robbie heard me speak at the Georgia Bigfoot conference. I just rambled for a whole hour about, I don't even know what I was talking about. I mean, I was just talking and having the best time. But I'll probably have more of a presentation together for the Dogman conference. So I just have fun. Robbie, you saw me. I was up there just having the time of my life.
Yeah, you were so worried about the amount of time you got, and then you got done. You're like, I could have kept on talking. I needed more time.
I was not ready to quit. I was like, I saw Dr. John. He was like 5 minutes. And I was like, I thought I've only been up here for 5 minutes. Okay. So when you're in the flow, you're in the flow. And that's how it goes.
Yep.
Yeah. When you're doing what you love, it's not even work. It's just fun. So yeah. So everybody, thank y'all so much for being here tonight. I know that we had, we had Cindy on for the first half of the show, and she had to go. Her phone battery died, and she's got a lot of weird, strange activity at her house. If you guys would like to see all my data for the targets that I did for her, it's on my Patreon. You guys can go subscribe, become a member of my Patreon. Shout out to all my Patreon members who are watching tonight. You guys are the best. It really keeps me going and gives me that pep talk every week. I'm like, oh, I got Patreon members, so I gotta do good. I gotta do extra good for them. So thank y'all so much. This has been a very interesting show today, and we covered all sorts of stuff. But Robbie, it was all with your help, and I am forever grateful for you. So thank you for being here.
You're welcome. Thank you for inviting me.
Of course, yes. Oh yeah, y'all tune into Spaced Out Radio tonight with Dave Scott. Of course, that's my other gig over there, and please tune in this weekend. I only have one guest book so far. I'm so bad. I've been booking last minute, Robbie. I'm the worst. But I do have Jesus Payan coming back on Sunday night. He has some incredible Bigfoot evidence, and he has been doing some work with Thinker Thunker. We're going to be analyzing some of his data on Sunday night, and it's pretty mind blowing. Okay, it's really cool. So good night, Darkwoods.
Got some good stuff.
He does. He's, that's how he caught my eye, actually. The first time I ever saw him, he was on he might have been on DA's podcast, on y'all's podcast, perhaps. I don't remember, but he was on somebody's podcast, and he had just the most incredible pictures.
That probably was, because he's been on ours a couple times, and he's had pictures of just, like, mind-blowing.
Yes. So, he doesn't get enough attention over that stuff. He needs, I think that he deserves a lot more recognition for that evidence that he has. So, any chance I get, I bring him on my show, and I think he's really ready to get out and do more podcasts right now. So, y'all have him on your show too, Robbie, and he's got some interesting stuff we've been talking about. So we're going to expose all that evidence on Sunday night. So you guys please tune in 10 p.m. Eastern on Spaced Out Radio on the YouTube channel and on Facebook Live. You guys have a wonderful night. And, there's more comments. I'm so behind. All right, everybody take care. Y'all have a great night. Robbie, thanks again for being here. I will see you guys Saturday night. Okay? Y'all lock your doors and stay safe out there. All right. Bye.